Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are and what time it is where you're joining me from today. This is Zoliswa Cheche, and as usual, I welcome you to Speak It with Zoliswa. It is a beautiful what day it is of the week today. It's Thursday afternoon, and I'm coming to you from a rural area which is like a sentinel inside Johannesburg. I want to talk to you today about what has inspired me. It's a team building that I happen to be joining for observation purposes, and I just thought about what the concept of a team is all about. Remember, I'm the advocate of the mindset, so everything that I talk about has to do with the mindset. So a team, it is more than just a group of people that are coming together that are doing the same thing, but the concept of a team has got the common intention, the common goal, the common objective that these two or more people have got to meet. And when they come together, they do so in such a way that they complement each other in different ways. To the extent that we are human beings, there's no way that we're always going to be the same. Or maybe there's no way that we're ever going to be the same at all. For as long as there is more than one person who comes with a different personality, different attributes, then there is a requirement for an understanding of what the other person is all about. However, before you can come to appreciate and embrace what the other person is all about, it begins with you. When you point a finger at another person, there are three fingers that are pointing back at you, and they are saying, do you have the awareness of who you are? Do you have self-awareness? When was the first time, or rather the last time, that you stood up and you said, I am going to look around me and see what it is that I identify with? What is it that is inside of me that appreciates the people that I'm interacting with in my surroundings? If you want to have an understanding of why you appreciate the things that you do and why you don't appreciate those that you don't, it all has to do with a common denominator, and that is yourself. What are those areas in your life, inside of you, in the core essence of your being, that have unresolved issues? Let's make an example of anger. If you get irritable, you get easily angered by a specific incident or a specific behavior from another person. Have you ever considered that there could be an unresolved issue that is fermenting inside of you that you have not dealt with? And when you see the anger or the irritation that's coming from the other person, it is a mirror, it is a reflection of who you are. It is, if you know the Johari window, it is that part of yourself that has not been allowed to surface so that you can address it. So the whole concept of the team building and the observation that I was doing today made me realize that for as long as we are in this journey of life, which is humankind, we are always going to have an opportunity to evolve from one state of being to the other. But when you go through an evolution state, just imagine that you get into a train, you don't know which station you're going to get off at. You don't know where you are going. You don't know what's your destination. Are you ever going to get there? And if you say to me, yes, Zoliswa, I am going to get there, how are you going to know that you've arrived? It begins with the identification of where you want to go. And then you look at where you are, because then you will be connecting the dots. The dots get connected from looking behind, and connecting you from where you are to where you would like to be entails a process which is directed towards the achievement of your goals. The achievement of the goals that you have when you're talking about the team also means that there will be times where you will have to understand the other people. There are times where you're going to have to calm down and try and understand as to why people are seeing things differently from where you are, because it could be that you are on the wrong side of your eyeballs. If you've ever been in a relationship before, whether you are someone that has a mother, a father, siblings, a spouse, colleagues, peers, people that you go to school with, you are always in a relationship. And you cannot be in a relationship alone. You cannot be in a relationship if you're always going to be the dominant one, the autocratic one, the authoritarian that wants things done your way. On the other hand, which is the flip side of the coin, you're not going to be in a successful relationship if you're always going to be dominant, being a carpet, allowing everybody to do as they please, because you are likely to have this conflict that is inside of you as a result of unexpressed emotions. I always advocate that we are spiritual, emotional beings having a human experience. What that means is that everything that we do has the ultimate goal that has a feeling or an emotion in it. Remember from the previous videos, I told you that emotions are collective feelings which constitute some kind of a pattern in such a way that you vibrate at a particular wavelength as a result of the emotions that you allow to manifest through you. So we are emotional beings that are having a human experience. Whatever we're doing is in an effort to fulfill the emotional part of who we are. Whether you are highly expressive and you show to people your emotional side, you cry, you laugh, you exhale, you do all of those kinds of things, you are an emotional being. Whether you suppress these things or you act like you're not affected, you don't have love for anybody, including the children that you've brought to this world, you are still an emotional being. Authenticity means that you have to be vulnerable and create an expression for the people that are around you to see who the real person that you are is. It is only from that premise that when they understand you, they will gain a better understanding of how is it that they can relate to you better. What is the best way that is going to improve the relations between you and the people that are around you? When we're talking about the team, it begins with you. You take the first step. You take the baby step with no expectation whatsoever as to what the other person is going to do. But you start to vibrate at the wavelength of how you would like the outcome of the first step that you are taking to be. And when all of that happens, one person does it, the other one does it, and the rest of the people in the team do it, then we achieve the common goal. We become like this harmonious melody that comes together and sing a perfect song. As usual, you know that I love hearing from you. Please remember to leave your comments at the bottom here so that I know that we are together. I get a lot of messages on my messenger. Please, I encourage that you leave them openly so that all the other people can also benefit for the types of questions, concerns, clarity, thoughts that you are sharing with me. Up until the next video, as usual, this is Zoliswa. Keep building your dream.